Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in the nation's commercial nerve center, Lagos. I'm Jeffrey Uzoma. Let's bring you up to speed with the big happenings in politics and in the polity. Let's begin with the headlines. 3 members of the African Democratic Congress sued the interim leadership of the party, which is home of the new coalition, challenging their legality to take over the party. And former PDP campaign spokesperson and convener of the Alternative, Sowunmi, joins me to examine the states and the future of the polity. Thanks again for joining us on the program. Let's get started with what appears to be an overwhelming majority of subnational government who are in on state policing. If we go by the claim of the Katsina State Governor, Diko, it says 33 state governors are demanding constitutional change to accommodate independent policing at state levels in a summarized presentation signed by them and sent to the National Assembly for consideration in the process of constitutional amendment. The Katsina State Governor, Diko, who was a guest earlier today on our program, Sunrise Daily, explains that the governors believe that state police will achieve a lot in solving the insecurity challenges in the country.
33 governors have indicated interest in establishment of state police. We have submitted our position to the National Economic Council long ago, and about 33 governors have indicated interest to have state police. So this is something I believe that if we push it through the constitutional amendment, it's going to scale through, because I believe that 24 state governors, or more than that, because 33 has already indicated, we are going to get 23rd of the state assemblies to approve that. And I believe that this is the only way out. With the present situation we are in Nigeria, with about 32 or 33 states engulfed with one problem of insecurity to another, we need to have that. We need to put politics aside, because you can't be governor for 1,000 years. Even if you try to manipulate anything or use any instrument of government, you will leave power after 8 years, and somebody is going to take off that position and use that same instrument against you. So we have to look at Nigeria, we have to look at the present situation and stop about all this nonsense that people used to do in terms of security situation in our country.
He was also asked about the forming of the coalition against the ruling party to publish their plan and show clearly what they intend to do if elected.
This coalition that we are talking about in Nigeria, what is new to Nigerians about it? Who are these people into this coalition? Why are they not in another coalition before? What are they going to come and do different from what is happening in the country now? Can they promise Nigerians that they are going to they will bring the subsidy, fuel subsidy? Let them come out and tell Nigerians, those who want to contest for president under this coalition, let them come and tell Nigerians, are they going to bring subsidy back? And if they are going to bring subsidy back, let them tell Nigerians how they are going to run the government. And with what resources are they going to run the government? And with what resources are they going to pay to bring about the subsidy? Let's be realistic. Let's tell ourselves the truth. The time for deceiving Nigeria is over. Who was not in government last regimes? Who is not in government? We have seen we know the track record of everyone. We know what they have done when they were in government. And they are now crying and shouting because they are outside of the government. Let's be realistic. If we are coming with something new to Nigerians, every Nigerian is going to embrace it, because all of us are here to make Nigeria better and try to do it. Our problem is we, the politicians, and we must clean ourselves and be sincere to ourselves if we want to move this country forward.
All right, before I bring in my guests to get some responses to some of the things that have been said as far as those coalition issues are concerned, and as well as the polity, let's tell you that the interim leadership of the new home of the coalition, the African Democratic Congress, is now a subject of litigation as 3 Members of the ADC have filed a suit challenging the interim leadership of the party led by former Senate President David Mark before a federal high court, Abuja. In the suit filed on July the 4th, the plaintiffs Adeyemi Emmanuel, Ayodeji Tolu, and Aruna Ismaila are asking the court to determine the legality of the interim leadership of the ADC. They hold that Nwosu lacks the right to convene either a NEC or NWC meeting or any other since his tenure as national chairman has expired. The plaintiff also stated that the interim executive cannot and should not act in the leadership capacity, noting that they were appointed by an illegal meeting organized by the former national chairman. Those are their claims. Among the several reliefs sought, the plaintiffs are asking the court to declare the appointment of Senator David Mark, Ralph Aragbeshola, and Abdullahi as unconstitutional, unlawful, and null. The opposition politicians unveiled the ADC on June the 2nd as a platform to rally votes against the president in the next election. And let's get to the conversation. Joining me is a convener of the Alternative. He was a former spokesperson of the Atiku campaign in the 2023 presidential election. Tumba Ashegu Sowunmi joins me in Abuja. My apologies. Mr. Sowunmi, thank you so much for coming on the program. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. It's nice to be with you. What's up?
Yeah, I'm good. So let's begin with some housekeeping. So before I came on air, somebody asked me, is Mr. Sowunmi still in the PDP or he has joined the APC or what exactly? So I needed that clarity from you for those who are not sure.
Yeah. I'm a very committed, bona fide member of the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria. I've been in that party from the get-go. I've never left. Stabilizers have left our party. More than likely, we'll be able to stabilize it now for democracy. I've always held the view that political parties, the citizens don't owe them votes all the time. But they themselves owe themselves and the citizens policy direction, stable democracy, reformation of their party, because you will really not have democracy if you didn't have sustainable and stable party. So please, I visited the president. He has not asked me to join him. Nobody has invited me like that, but I am a member of the PDP. Never say never. Now that they have destroyed, everybody's running helter-skelter. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow I may change my mind. I'm bold enough to tell you I've left if I want to leave, but I'm in PDP.
Okay, now that that's out of the way, I've seen your activities with the Alternative, but before I go deep down into all of that, I would like your take on this issue of the coalition. I'm not sure whether you're part of the coalition, but I know that there's been a lot of nuances and statements from across board. The opposition, APC, and even the presidency has said, look, this is, in fact, I think Daniel Bala described it as political IDPs, and all kinds of names have been given to the coalition. Some say don't take them seriously. Their pedigree speaks for them. What do you make of this coalition? And are you in support of the coalition?
Jeff, thank you. It is the right of politicians, especially those that are looking for where to contest election, to scheme, to plan, to jump, to hop about like monkeys looking for one platform after the other. But statesmen and those who are interested in the long-term play of the development of nations will keep looking at what is our history, where are we now, what can we project that will be in the future. The major thing I see with them that is energizing them is Peter. With due respect to everybody, if Peter Obi had not done as well as he did the last time, I'm not even sure they will even have the guts to be talking about that type of coalition now. I pity him that he has allowed himself to go and join the, the same set of people that have been calling themselves candidates all the time. We have run this country between 1914 till date, when we got into democracy in 1999, on an idea. And that idea is what has kept our very unique country together. And that is that the country, we run it on a pendulum. The power goes to the north, we try to make it stay for 8 years for stability, and they complete their term. Then it swings to the south, and same way. We had a misfortune, Yaradua died, and naturally because we balanced power, good-lucky Billy Jonathan became president. Ironically, these elements we did not even allow him to do his mandatory one more term. jumping here, jumping there, are the same ones now jumping around. And we are beginning to see a pattern which is not acceptable. And that pattern is that anytime a Southerner is in charge of the country, there's always a convenient, noisy narrative that suggests that the country is not being properly run. But anytime a Northerner is in charge of the country, they pretend as if they are ostriches. They have no opinion to put on the table. They have no suggestion to put on the table. And then they say, oh, let him just finish it. So then the question then be, are we running a country where the North is going to be bullying the South all the time? And if then that be the case, why should we agree to that? So I think that is the first reason why you can never find me in that kind of coalition. The second reason is that no human being, no matter how ambitious, should have no capacity to respect the principle of droning and rotation. They will say power is in the North now for administrative convenience. You will say you are interested. They will bring the power back to the South. You will say you are interested. They will flip it back to the North. You will say you are interested. They will bring it back, come on. And then you'll ask, who has given you the right to be the perpetual destabilizer of parties? And then when you then leave that and drop it aside and bring the antecedent of those that are now suddenly repackaging themselves as new people in this country, your heart bleeds. You know what they did with themselves. Part of the challenges we have in this democracy, if we were to trace it to 1999, we can start by saying, number one, how did we even get to a point in this country where president and vice president don't enjoy automatic, harmonious, thoughtful relationship? It's down to them. Fighting, excessively ambitious, unwilling and unable to be loyal to their principle. Today, we are just beginning to manage ourselves out of that. If you ask, why do we have a concept of budget padding in the constituency project? I've gotten used to the fact that we all accuse them of what we cannot prove. The constituency project in National Assembly, it was also not supposed to be so. That's not the way democracy envisioned the legislator. It was because, again, they made it their habit to be bribing and bribing and bribing and bribing until the leader at that time, who is an expert in managing men and material, chose to put a legislative opportunity that is strategically able to give the legislator some element of freedom. Look at what that has caused. Now, if you now look at the issues where jumping from party to party has become easy, how do you explain to yourself that someone has been vice presidential candidate twice, presidential candidate twice? Oh, my party is having problem, and then the next thing is that you want to sort of bring a coalition of people to come and say that we are going to now run a country of democracy. If you cannot do succession, if you cannot accept that in the course of nation building, there's time for you to pass the baton to younger ones, then I think it's the duty of younger ones to say, no, we will not allow you. If at all there's going to be an elderly person in the villa, then the one that is there now might as well finish his term, so we can then pack all of you away and begin to look for fresh, brilliant, super ideas to run our country. The country is not perfect. No country is ever perfect. But when you begin to look at the antecedents, what they've done, what is being done now, you know that no, these are upstarters. They will quarrel among themselves for everything. Everybody in that coalition wants to be president suddenly all at a time, and then they will not be able to agree. And in case they said they agreed, then they are going to have an imagination that they are going to be sharing power.
So Mr. Sowunmi, if I understand, if I'm in Button,
I think they're joking.
Yeah, if I'm in Button at this point, you were the spokesperson of Atiku Abubakar in the last presidential election. Atiku Abubakar also left the party.
I was the governorship aspirant in my state in the last election. I was the spokesperson officially in 2019. I supported him again in 2023 because the party picked him.
Yeah, 2019. I also know that you also led the formation of the APC in that sense. But it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe clarify to all our audience if they are wrong in the way I'm perceiving. It looks like you're saying that the North is constantly leading an upset when they are not in power, and perhaps Atiku Abubakar is one of those at the vanguard. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. I make no apologies for that. The evidence are there. Listen, when Obasanjo was president here in 1999, between 1999 and 2023, we're not too young not to know that it was almost a similar kind of thing. Before we knew what was happening, some people were already talking about doing Sharia up north. The resultant is the aftermath of all the Boko Haram and the insurgency there. Before we knew what was happening, the speaker there would not even allow the president to breathe. And then what happened? They started to push back. They started to try to shop for people to support them. Before you knew it, the country was beginning to look like North and South. Obasanjo is a little bit more skilled, so he was better able to manage it. What about Jonathan? What exactly would be the crime that the president has committed if he says, let's go and keep education to the people of the North so that at least they can make rational decisions by themselves? and you start to scream, oh, there's Boko Haram, there's this, there's that, you start demarketing the country, you run up and down the street. And then General Buhari, a man I love, became president. They pretended as if all was well. The president was even ill for the first 2 years. We didn't hear any big argument that, oh, they must take power to the south or take it to the north. No, they didn't do that. Then now, you have another man that is president. He's barely 2 years on the seat. And you will not allow the country to stabilize. But I don't blame them. I blame him. Democracy is just a civilian mode of government. It does not necessarily translate to a weak or an unstable system of government. Government anywhere in the world, when you do it, you go to end it there. I would say, with your petty politics, you are only destabilizing the country, you are instigating people, and you are not even allowing the people that have the day-to-day work of running government, the sense and the stability to run government. And we have not heard anything from you that is inspirational enough to be able to say, wow, you are bringing something new. Or what are you bringing? Haven't we tried it before? Haven't we tested it before? We don't owe you the presidency of Nigeria. And if at all we're going to go to the north in 2027, you better go and find us a younger, a better, a sharper, a more agile northerner. So we can then say we have done with the 1992 guys. People who came in because of Yaradua, who was trying to build a coalition of people that can say north and south, let's have this handshake. Let's not become a people that were running the politics of the Awolowo, Tafawa Balewa and co, which was damn too tribal. And under their watch, they are not even ashamed of themselves. They have almost turned the whole thing into tribal now. So the consciousness with which they got us into this trouble can never be the consciousness with which they would bring us out of it. And certainly, if they are imagining that the numbers in the north is all theirs, I pity them. The suffrage of election does not belong to one individual. And may the best man win.
All right, very strong words you've used there. It sounds to me like you're saying like Jonathan was the only outlier. Every other person who has led this country is either coming from the military or school of 92, 93 of those who were in the trenches. So it's now a time to give a new breather. But that leads me to my next question of what the alternative which you lead is really, really all about. Some people have said, what is Mr. Sowunmi really doing with the alternative? Is it
okay? Thank you. Let me quickly run into it.
Sir, just a moment, sir. Is this another sophisticated economy of mobilization, or this is really an alternative idea to think Nigeria differently? So it's up to you, sir.
Thank you. When I've been here, when I looked at what we're doing with ourselves, and I saw the danger of what has become of our politics, reading the experiences of other nations, I began to say, are we not going to answer 4 questions? Question number 1, how do you have 83 million or thereabout collected PVC, and less than 25 million are getting ready to participate in the election, and you are installing a president with 8-point-something million votes? The next man got 6-point-something. The next man got 6.1. Where's everybody else on election day? We need to go and reinterrogate the democracy and speak to our people. Beg them that please don't give up on democracy. After all, we can see that democracy is failing with our neighbors. It's failed in Niger, it's failed in Guinea, and it might fail everywhere. Question number 2, Nigerians, are we going to allow these people who have not been able to create anything fantastic to divide us into tribal champions? Where if Yoruba is talking, you abuse him, and you look at the name is Igbo, and the Hausa is talking, you just be abusing yourself. If they've destroyed their time, if this is the best they can do, why don't we go and talk to ourselves and plead with ourselves that we can be Nigerians? We can have the conversation with each other without making it tribal. Number 3, Nigerians, hey, are we going to now say that the only thing we consider to be democracy, which in my opinion is the system or mankind's gift to the not so rich? Because the rich can be monarchs, they can be everything, they can be bourgeois. But the poor have an opportunity in democracy. Why the hell would you be selling it? You have the numbers. Why can't you let us use our numbers to push the one we want forward? Why would you be doing vote buying and vote selling? And then question number 4. If everybody they bring as presidential candidate never satisfies you, you'll be angry with them while they're in charge. When they leave, you start wanting them back. I've heard people tell me that they even prefer that you bring Buhari back. But this was the Buhari that you didn't like while he was there. They've said the same thing about Jonathan. They cry. I go around the country. I've gone to all the zones. I administer questionnaires with people. We go to the stakeholders. A great number of them are even telling me that, hey, why don't you guys go and bring Jonathan back? Because that seems to be a bit of a dousing of the tension for the people. The point I'm making really is that Nigerians, stop allowing this recycled element to bamboozle us. Recycled element to bamboozle us. We can decide who we want to lead us. But let us be sure that we are going to be giving him enough reps. We're going to give him enough Senate. We're going to be giving him enough governors. Because ultimately, the democratic system that we run, the American style, does not imagine that there's one messiah that will sit in the presidency and then become a jack of all trade. And hey, if I took on the burden of what should have been a national orientation responsibility, if you cannot tell me thank you, I can thank myself. And I've not gone anywhere to tell them take this party or take that party. I've just said, let us reinterrogate this democracy again. Other nations are doing well in democracy. They are building their economy. And then would we not even begin to do consensus around development? Why should the idea of opposition be no to everything? You pretend to be blind about the good things. You see only the terribly bad things. You run up and down the world using your voice to demarket your country. You pretend as if angels are coming to fix it for you. And when we look at your rap sheet, you're not angels. You know, some of you, what the government is not to be. All your in ambulances and ferried from your state, pretending that people don't see you, or the kind of unethical, immoral things you do when they're giving you responsibility to manage states. I pity the ones that are young, that are sitting with them. There are some outliers there that some of us have been waiting that when we drop the generational age, those outliers can step forward. But ironically, they have allowed themselves now to milling around. Look at what is happening to them. They cannot stabilize their party.
Mr. Sowunmi, if you can hear me, just a moment. If you can hear me, sir, if you can hear me, just a moment. So you are saying the whole idea of the alternative first is to interrogate the governance, as you put it, and also push for
democracy again.
The democracy, and also push for what I see as you saying, look, we need to stop this voter apathy. So are you putting this on record that this is not about mobilizing people, and if you get the critical mass, it may be condensed into supporting a particular candidate in 2027?
As a matter of fact, we've gone to Jos for the North Central. We've gone to Kano for the Northwest. We've gone to Bauchi for the Northeast. We've gone to Enugu for the Southeast. For your information, in Enugu, I practically was lying down begging our brothers in Enugu, look, stop this. Okay, the civil war is done, it's dusted. Don't carry this prejudice to our children. Let's build together. I've gone to the South Side in Port Harcourt when it was not convenient. I begged them, oh, leaders of Port Harcourt, you can't watch over your sons quarreling and just be instigating them. Can't you just bring the temperature down? Guess what I told them in the Southwest, where I come from? I was more harsh on them. I told them, gentlemen, nobody has given you the right to sit down and not come and vote. Your voter turnout is too low. And you are the ones that even do vote selling and vote buying the most. I warned them in Osun. I took control. I said, Nigeria does not own the Southwest anymore on June 12th. Whatever Nigeria as a nation owes the Yorubas is paid and paid in full. Now let's become Nigerians. Let's try. Let's become Nigerians. Let's try. Let's push. And I said to them, after about 3 months, let's give these guys in charge 1 more year. Let them concentrate and do the job that they've been voted for. Then we can then begin to say, okay, which of these fellows do we think is a good material? Losing an election is no big deal. Standing for what is right is better. I am very, very disappointed that Peter has even allowed himself to be even put in that kind of group. Peter was the man that we were all prepared to line behind. If victory is for him, we'll take the victory. If losses for him, we'll take the losses. But look at him. Running up and down with people that we know that he himself knows that are not even good people. Can he even survive a primaries in that place? Where they're going to carry money and just use money to destabilize everything? Is money the only thing? Those who said, I have the judiciary in my pocket, I have the party chairman in my pocket, I have money in my bag, I have a legislator in my bag, they have not been president even till today.
All right, Mr. Sowunmi, as we need to wind down, one economic question I want to ask. It sounds great nominally, some of the things you said, but time will tell as to the honesty as Nigerians are gauging your effort to mobilize people and backtrack on this issue around voter apathy that we've seen. You even said it is something million. It was about 94 million also that people that collected PVCs. And we know the numbers that came out.
Exactly. Total register, but collected PVC was 93.
Collected PVCs, and then it was an abysmal turnout, and we've seen that number come down. But one question that is critical, which perhaps would have informed low voter apathy, besides the issue of good governance. Now, the president has said, I'm doing my best. 2 years is too short for you to begin to bash me. In fact, it's gestation period. Others are saying, no, you didn't put this in place. And you know all the nuances. I don't want to repeat myself. Now, By whose reality, Mr. Sowunmi, should we measure the success of an economy? I'll give you three options: the minimum wage earner, the middle class, or the rich. The reason I say that is because the government says the levers at the top level macroeconomic indicators look good, but it hasn't compounded to the poor man. So by whose measure, whose reality should we measure the success of an economic reform?
Thank you, Jeff. You've asked a very smart question. Now, let me tell you how I see it. I've always said nations are somewhat in pseudo competition with themselves. For if you look around, almost all the nations, the big nations of the world, are beginning to fall into their nationalistic lines. Therefore, more than at any time in our history, we need to come together now. And thankfully, by the time we get to election, I always tell people, elections are referendums. The ruling party will come to the table and tell us how they have done on the mandate we gave them. Those who are claiming that they have something better will come and speak to us based on their antecedent. What I do not agree is that you are going to make a big country like ours to begin to falter and appear unstable, manipulating the media people too are encouraging them in such a way that we will not even be able to have peace of mind to build. If they get to the point where they have to be voted for or voted out, the Nigerian citizens, if they turn out, if they engage the issues, we can take that decisions together. As an individual, I'm at liberty to back who I want or who I think is better than them or who I think is the best of them. But what I don't think I would like is a situation where the people we know that, their track record is bad, their private record is bad, their moral record is bad. Their areas of operation in their states and where they've had influence is very bad. I would hate to see that, they will not be the one now to come and destabilize us. When we started this democracy in 1999, some of you don't know, some of us bled for this thing. And it is now that we're seeing that after about over a quarter of a century, why do we have to go back to where we left? We left Egypt. We must continue to face the promised land. The president will do what he can. He has the spokespeople to come and be explaining whatever they say they are doing. I don't want to criticize him now because I think people are hounding him. When it was ready, when we needed to criticize him, I was the one who first started shouting, you can't give Southeast only 5 when you are giving others more. Balance the power. I screamed on him. You have not seen the basis. Why are you quick to take a position on Niger? That's how you engage leadership. You engage leadership when you see good, you say you sing good. When you have a bit of an issue, you say, I don't like this one. But hey, there can only be one president and one commander-in-chief at a time. And I expect him to do his duty. All this wah that they are doing to destabilize the country. What's DSS doing? What's security doing? What are the media people doing? What is government doing? There's no one in the world that's going to allow itself to be so laissez-faire. Today they are blaming this. They're just, come on. So for me, the referendum is still on. I believe that because of our very difficult policy, after election, we will not allow ourselves to stabilize. We will not even allow ourselves to walk. And then we are going to be in a perpetual all year round democracy. Then if that be the case, then we might as well end the whole democracy and let's get ourselves something much more sustainable.
All right, we'll keep working on the democracy and perfect it. We must thank you. Great perspective, Mr. Sowunmi Otumba. Let me call it now. Sowunmi.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Convener of the Alternative. We're watching and seeing, and we'll continue to follow development and this national discourse. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it, sir. And that's it on the program. Thank you for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzonga. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics. Bye-bye.